Heffron and Reep.
Oh, yay!
All the radio announcements actually have a personality. They're not sitting there all monodrone.
They always are coming up with new stuff, new twists.
Every once in a while, you guys are not boring.
You're listening to Heffron and Reep. Lock it in and rip the knob off. You're tuned in to the number one show on the planet. The Heffron and Reep Show.
Yeah, that's what this is. That's what you're listening to on your headphones, wherever you're listening to Heffron and Reep Show. I'm John Heffron. John Reep is over there in
Howdy.
Curry.
Yes, sir. How you doing? Good to see you. I hadn't seen you in such a long time.
I haven't seen you in a long time. It's been a minute. We just got back from our I should be playing this one. Well, look who decided to come back after.
Well, I couldn't just leave the way we ended things.
There'll always be that fifth frame in that small town that's going to be disputed. Now, I say that the pin dropped by itself and wasn't knocked down by no man.
Mm-hmm. Hey, everybody, we see your live comments. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. I see Zach, David, Bob, Drew, Mandy, Davey, and Donald, and everything. So we are live. Hit the share button. Hit the share button. That helps us out. We're trying to grow as a podcast. We have a lot to talk about tonight. Me and Mr. Heffron sitting to my right, I believe, who is in Michigan. The place I just left. We just toured all over Western Michigan. That's How We Roll tour was a success. I don't think there was one bad show, but we were in Howard City. We were in
Wyoming,
Muskegon, Holland. I can't remember them, but they were Rockford.
Yeah.
Should we start from the beginning? What do you want to talk about first?
First, I've done 2 podcasts now, and you've not noticed I don't have big, bulky headphones on anymore. I decided to slim down.
Are those in ears things?
Yeah.
Are they custom made?
No. These are on Amazon. They were like $40. You sound a little tinny, but they're not as big and bulky. And
no, I have
I got better readers on.
Okay.
You see these are I go like this, and your various degrees of blurry.
I see.
So I'm learning how to use these because I go like this if I want to be like old, and then I stare down at you like this if I want to see some from far away. So where do you want to start? First off, it was our little That's How We Roll tour. Mm-hmm. Excited. It was something that we decided to do whenever we decided to do it. I know that didn't make sense, but a couple months ago. Weird thing that we didn't know if we could put together.
Yep.
Sounded horrible from just on paper.
Yeah.
That we were going to do 5 bowling alleys in towns we've never been, in towns that had populations of, Howard City had 1,100 people in it.
I think they were all there.
Right. So we going into it, me and John, we get a room in downtown Grand Rapids just because that's where we know and that's where we stay whenever the Bob is open or not open, or I don't know what's going on there. We had nice little 15, 20-minute drives to every place. So the things worked out. We'll go day one. We went up 131 to Howard City. I forgot what the name of Howard City was. Howard City Lanes? Is that the name of it or something? I had six lanes in it.
Yeah.
And
it's old. It's one of the oldest bowling alleys in the country. One of the first ones, Bill, I took some pictures of it.
Yeah, we got some good pictures of that one. I had to look and see which ones they are if you want to show.
Let's just have Alan, because there's so many pictures. Alan, if you just throw a picture up, we can describe what people are looking at. It might not be the order in which we did things, but
I got a couple on my phone I can literally show you.
Oh, here we go. Look at this one. So Alan put this. This is in Howard City. That's me sitting at the console to where you look how old that thing is, dude. It looks awesome, man.
It looks like on that.
I'm about to type in the code for war games. You know?
Yeah. It looked like you're going to do some stuff, and then the transporter was going to send us to a different time.
I was typing in global thermal nuclear war there.
And it's like, don't you want to play chess? Yeah, we got some good pictures from there. You can't tell, but there are the lighting. There were just some good. It was awesome. The ceiling was just drippy with whatever the colors. I don't know why I was standing all like that. I don't know.
I don't know why you stand and pose half the times. I don't know what you're doing half the time you're taking a picture, John. I don't know the method to your madness. There's something going on. You don't really talk about it. You just do it.
Well, I'm trying to hide my double chin that I noticed I have. And I feel like I have man boobs and a gut. So I try to stand. I suck in my stomach, and then I push out my chin. And then I squint down because I saw that's supposed to make you look sexy. So that's what I do.
So you're trying to focus on doing 3 different things at once.
Yeah. Then it just throws me off. And then I just.
Now look at this picture.
Now, a lot of people on my Instagram ask, when did I get the man bun? Because it looks like at the top of my hair that I'm actually rocking a man bun.
Yeah, it kind of does.
That's from the ceiling.
That's a light or something. Yeah,
that's a light. Yeah, I do not have a man bun.
So those lanes that we're standing at, that was our green room, because where we performed was the other side of the bowling alley where they removed the tables and chairs, and they just let us hang out in the bowling area. So we were just back there messing around, taking all kinds of fun pictures.
And then
go to the next room.
The room was I'm bad at how many. I don't know how big the room was. That was a different place than the first place we're talking about. The first place at Howard City, the room, that was a different. I don't think we have a Howard City picture, to be honest with you.
Listen, I just uploaded almost 200 pictures into this Dropbox. Okay. Now I don't have time to. If you want to talk, I can sit here and go.
No, don't look it up. I'll just describe it because this room was interesting. It was a long room and there was nothing in it but chairs just kind of sitting next to each other. And the bar was in the back, but in the front was a little window, like you're going to like a really cool dive bar. And then there was an ATM machine.
Yeah.
Right up front. And there were no lights. So we kind of did.
Let me tell Alan something real quick. In the Dropbox folder, there's something called photo August 24th. 8:46, 56 p.m. If you can find 8:46, 56 p.m. .jpeg, that is what John Heffron is describing right now. We performed standing in front of a window next to an ATM machine and the jukebox. Boom. There you go. Look at that.
Yeah, and again, I'll say this about every crowd that we came in front of. Every crowd was as behaved or better and laughed louder than any comedy club I can possibly think of. Yeah. You'd think in an environment like this, you'd have one person that was loud or one person that was chatty or a little bit heckly or somebody getting up to go to the bathroom. None of that happened. Mm-hmm. It was everybody crushed from the get-go. And then people were just super excited that we would come to Howard City. Like that was the biggest thing. They were like, how did you even, we can't believe you came here. And then it was an awesome show. Now, like if you're new to comedy, you'd be like that, but it was so much fun.
Yeah. I was nervous about all of these gigs. At this first gig, and I believe we learned a lot together as we went, right? Not just me and you or Brent, but the guys putting the show together. For example, you need stage lights and you need to play music when people are being sat, and you need microphone stands. So those are three things that I would have changed. But despite that, the shows were still wonderful. There was one moment. See, you're up there. I went last at this gig, right? And you're up there after I made them turn all the lights on, because when Brent was up there first, they had plenty of sunlight coming in the room that they didn't really have every light on. I said, you just need to make sure. I said, turn all of the lights on. We're not trying to hide anything. There's no more theater. We just got to turn the lights on so you can see everybody. And so there we go there. But yeah, I did mention something about the ATM machine. I forgot to do that bit because I felt like I went long. That was the first show. I went last that show. And I felt like I went way too long. We were supposed to do 30 minutes each. I know I didn't do 30 minutes that first show.
Yeah.
I probably did like 45.
And that's the show where then I play. And by the way, if anybody has Spotify, if you want to hear John Heffron pre-show music, I have a Spotify playlist that I make every club play. If you just go to Spotify and search, just type in John Heffron pre-show music, you'll get my vibe that I force everybody to listen to.
I want to comment on Joe Trees Seven's comment. He said, you're literally famous and you have 12 people in there. You only see 12 people in that photo. There's more people in the photo.
All the way back.
You can't see. Yeah.
Yeah. It goes all the way back. What do you think, dude? It's a weird triangle room. that it's like where the pointing at thing. Yeah.
It was fun. So that was the first night. It was me, you. Oh, okay. The Alan Jackson just put a picture up of John Heffron and me and Brent Blakeney in Holland. This is Lake Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
We had a day at the beach and got in the water. John did not get in the water, but me and Brent did get in the water. And water was a little chilly, but the lake is the size of an ocean.
Yeah.
And Holland is really nice. And we got there. I have several questions about our beach day, John.
Okay.
Since we're at this picture.
Okay.
All right. So I was just at a beach for a week with my girlfriend and her daughter, Jody, Myrtle Beach. I was there for a week. I'm a ginger.
Mm-hmm.
When I do the beach, there are certain things I have to have, right? Like sunblock.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the kind of guy who likes to just simply sit on the sand and lay down on a towel. A lot of people love that. That's most of what people kind of do. They're like, all I need is a towel and my swim trunks and I'm good. I can't do it. So when we got there, I was very happy to find out that they rent chairs and umbrellas. Mm-hmm. So I rented a chair and an umbrella. Brent said, ooh, I want one. He got one. Neither you nor Michelle got a umbrella or a chair. Thoughts? Why? What's the reasoning? Did you have fun at the beach?
Had fun at the beach. I'm thinking now I should have got a chair and then brother, but I'm just so lazy. I didn't feel like pack. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of did the move where when you guys went into the water, I got up out of off the sand and I just sat in your place. And then I would look. And then when I was luckily Brent's tall, I would always look for him. And when I'd see you guys getting closer, then I would jump off of your chairs and go back to my seat, thus saving $20.
You owe me $10 in rent.
Yeah, just saving that. So we did that. And then that was Holland. The Holland show was...
There was one moment, too, where me and Brent were just sitting in the chairs and Michelle went to just take a little stroll. and then you walked to the edge of the water and just stared off for a long time into the water. I took a picture of it. I have no idea where it is in these pictures, but I was like, me and Brent were like, what's he thinking right now? What's going through John's head? He's just standing there looking off into the water. You know, you didn't get in. You got the edge. You look older than you are at that time, because I believe you had the shorts with white socks and sandals.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're standing with your hands on your hips on the backwards, kind of like just looking out. What was going on?
We had a show that night, and then I'm just such a. I didn't want to get all gross, sandy, and wet, and then because we didn't know where we were going to change before the show. So I was trying to kind of keep somewhat clean.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to change in the restroom like you guys did. And you guys came out sweatier than if you were in the water, because it was 100 degrees.
Hang on. Brent Blakeney opened up for us every night. I flew him up there from Raleigh, and he's in the room right now. If you want to add Brent Blakeney, special guest. There he is.
Hey. Oh, I haven't seen you guys in 48 hours, so
good to see you, Brent Blakeney. What was we were just talking about the beach day.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was fun. Let's talk about me and you trying to change into show clothes. During the daytime go ahead.
Well, I mean, it's we were in Western Michigan. But it is still August. So it was a warm day, and the bathhouse we were changing in before the show did not have any air conditioning.
Yeah,
so it was hotter inside of the bathhouse than it was outside. But I got in the water in my swimsuit, so I brought a whole change of clothes to wear for that night, and I thought, we'll just change. I was hoping that the theater that we were going to would have a green room with air conditioning that we could change into there, but that wasn't part of the plan. So we had to change in there. I was sweatiest I've ever been that whole trip after showering off and getting the sand off and putting in the show. I was so hot and frustrated. You guys were in the car. I believe I text both of you, please turn on the air conditioning as hard as it'll go. Like I'm suffering. And I didn't get sunburnt. It was just the heat inside of there made it miserable.
And then that show in Holland was jammed. Guy who said we performed in front of 12 people, that was jammed all the way to the back. And we had 2 stools, 2 mics this time, 2 mic stands.
Yeah.
On the Holland show. But also I got this, John, and maybe you and Brent. I mean, listen, I'm all for, I can take criticism. I'm not a baby. Okay. Here's what somebody said. I posted a picture or a video of us or something. And then this person said, of all the things you've shared, this by far is the most fun. Love this. BTW, yesterday, John told us all in his live feed just how you drive. Ha, 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 ha.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll talk to your face, buddy. I got car sick. I mean, legit, where I was sweating and I thought I was going to throw up.
From me driving?
It's a couple things.
Yeah.
Me being in the back seat. Now, I've taken Ubers where I'm in the back, and that's not a problem. So I can't chalk it up to that. I believe it was just it was your car's got a lot of stuff in it, right? So I was a little claustrophobic. I'm back there. There's like a first aid kit. There's a tackle box. There's like socks. I'm afraid to lean on your shirt because you hung it. And you're hitting the gas and the brake like one after the other. And then you're getting frustrated because you got the Waze going and the girlfriend's got the other Google Maps going, and they're arguing with each other. And you're getting upset, and there's a lot going on at once. And I was just trying to survive, man. I was just back there with my head down, just going. Every time we get out of the car, no matter where we were, I would be like, I just need to stand here and breathe for a minute.
Because I remember after one of the shows or something, we either were coming from or we got back from. John gets out of the car and he closes the door and he goes, "That one was pretty good. That drive that one was okay." And you just said that like out of blue, and I didn't know under what. I'm like, the show was so good. You're like, no, the drive back. It was yeah. You almost feel like you were scoring me, like it was The Voice or something. Yeah. You're like, yeah, that one. Yeah,
I'm confused and perplexed by your driving skills because you've been doing comedy for, I don't know, 40, 35 years, and you've been in every state in this country, and I know you know how to get from point A to point B, but you with the GPS, it's hilarious. What did you do before that?
I get because I was by myself. The more people that are in the car, the more stressed I get. Like I'm a good driver by myself. But,
yeah.
You know, I play my music. I have, and then I have my drinks and snacks on the passenger seat. And then the back can be, by the way, I had a safety kit and a whole little thing in case anything went down. Mm-hmm. So, yes, you guys had to like sit around it. But had there been emergency, then I would have been a superhero.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of stuff back there.
We got there. There was conversation. I'll just tell you, me and Brent side talked. Should we take an Uber to the next gig and just meet John there?
Were you really? You guys were going to say, what were you going to tell me as an excuse?
I text you. I said, "Hey man, when do we go into the show? No biggie. Brent and I can just meet you there." And you're like, "No, just be there at 7." I'm like, "Damn, he wants to drive." Now, remember, we talked about getting an Uber a couple times just so, you wouldn't have to drive if you wanted to have fun there for a minute. So,
I found it right here. Just checking in. What time shall we leave? Or do you want me? Now I'm reading it different.
Yeah,
just checking in, see what time we want to leave. Or do you just want me and Brent to just grab an Uber? Question mark.
Yeah.
And I go 30-minute drive. We can leave at 6. And then you just wrote, "Sounds good," but now I know the real tone. You're like, okay.
I'm like, Brent and I can take an Uber.
We can. I don't know. It's
you don't have to have all that stress of people watching you drive.
Yeah.
So that was an interesting dynamic. But
my Jeep is jumpy. It doesn't handle super well. It's got a little rock and roll to it.
It's got a lot of rock and roll to it. But it's fine. I'm just not used to being in the back seat with that. Like I'm used to driving, dude. I've been driving my new car a lot, so I like.
Well, that way I didn't know. I mean, you guys weren't mad at me, but then on Saturday, I only had a hotel room until Saturday, so I check out of my room at 11 a.m. and then we're leaving at 6 p.m. to go to the next show. So I take my stuff down to my Jeep, and then I have a shirt that's super wrinkly, and then I have a white shirt that goes under it that's super wrinkly. And I get in the car and I sit there and I'm like, I wonder, I should probably, call those guys and maybe I can just sit in somebody's room. So as I'm waiting for that, I put out my shirt and I hang it in the back. And luckily I have sprayed de-wrinkler already in the Jeep. It's one of the things I travel with. I started spraying that down, and then I put in some Sade, and then I just put my head back, and then I fell asleep for like 30 minutes. And then I got out and I brushed my teeth and I put a bottle of water on the tooth and I spit and I'm almost on the car next to me. I got back in. And I'm like, well, I'm hungry. And then I called Brent. He goes, yeah, let's go to Arby's. So we go to Arby's. And then I'm coming back and I'm like, I think I left my glasses in Arby's parking lot. And then Brent just goes, well, we'll see you at 6, and just gets out of the car and leaves and then goes back to his room. So I sat in the parking lot in my Jeep from 11 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock at night. That was almost 7 hours of sitting in my car. And then I drove to the show and then drove 2.5 hours home.
Yeah, because you chose to do all of those things. You could have come to my room. I remember you saying something the night before we said goodnight. You said, like, I'm checking out tomorrow. They're making me leave at noon. I was like, well, my couch folds out into a bed if you want to come up here. I threw it out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got the text about food, and I wasn't hungry. I said, you guys go ahead and eat. I'm going to head down to the pool. And then when you guys got together with the food, I go, well, he probably went to Brent's room or something because I hadn't heard from you after that. Now, had you text me, oh, by the way, I found my glasses. I'm back from Arby's. Can I come up there? I would have said, well, of course. I would have put my clothes on, but I would have said, of course. My room is very nice and tidy, by the way.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I also got the vibe of, like, I'm just going to go get my glasses, and I kind of just – want to be alone for a few minutes. So I was like, okay, well, I mean.
Well, then I also texted, you texted at 5:40. So I've been now in the hot Jeep for almost 5.5 hours. What time are we leaving? And they said, I'm ready anytime. I've been sitting in my car since 11. Then like, then John replies, okie dokie. That was his response. Okie dokie. And then we talked to Brent, and then I said earlier, it says you have an hour drive. We should leave soon, and then be down in 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's when I immediately called Brent and was like, dude, I think we have to leave now. Are you ready? And you said, I was about to start to get ready. I'm like, he's in the car.
Well, I said I had everything. Everything was ironed. Everything was laid out. My bag was packed. Yeah. It was just shower, do my hair, put my clothes on.
Yeah.
So 10 minutes.
So then we went to so that was the show we did in, what was the last place? Muskegon.
Yeah.
Alan, you put up a picture of us earlier. It's the one where there's actually lanes behind us. If you want to show that picture again. So this room, with the picture, you really can't tell, but it had such a cool vibe. The room was almost perfect, like a perfect square. So there wasn't anything weird about it. There were a couple hundred people just in rows. The guy who owns this place built a stage that clicks over the lanes. So you could walk almost like 3 lanes and not step over anything. He made it flush with all this rubber around it so you wouldn't fall. We didn't have a mic stand, was the only thing, but it was, and then there was a bar in the back that if you just close the door, you couldn't hear anybody. It was such a cool vibe. Again, that show, everybody destroyed, and not one person was loud. Not one person heckled, or they were just great. I think it's comedy clubs with the word bone in it, on a second show Friday when you're like, oh my God, does anybody work here to shut these people up? And that place was I'd rather do a million of those than one drive-in. Do what?
It had good comedy club dimensions. Like the ceilings were super low. The people were packed in tight. The stage wasn't, you weren't 6 feet looking down on everybody.
Yep. It looked cool as well. I was worried about the lanes, the bowling alley, all that stuff. But visually, I mean, it looked cool to have all that stuff behind you.
Mm-hmm. It really did. Yeah.
I was so tempted to grab a ball and just throw it down there at the end of my set. But, that would have been a douche move. But, yeah, the sound was good. That was one of the places we didn't have a mic stand. Mm-hmm. John did a funny thing. This would have been in Wyoming at the Spectrum one.
Yeah,
Alan, that's the one that's the gray room.
Yeah, that's
see a picture of
that was my least favorite one.
That was my least favorite one.
Yeah,
because look, this is not a comedy room.
No,
the ceilings are too high.
Yeah.
Now again, we had a blast. The audience had a good time. Everybody did fine, but it could have been probably 10 times better had a couple of things been different. Ceiling's too high. No mic stand. The speaker that we're talking, from the above, it's coming down.
Yeah, horrible.
Yeah. So that's not good. You can't even understand all the words what we're saying, especially if you're in the back. And the lights, horrible. There's no lights coming at us; they're just coming down. So this was another one I told the guy, go ahead and turn on all the lights, because he was trying to just do one segment of lights to make it look like a stage. I'm like, you just need to light this whole room, because I'm visual. I need them to see what I'm doing.
And that one was the only non-bowling alley. Again, a couple hundred people there, because it went back pretty far too. Mm-hmm. There was no chair. There was no chair or mic stand, and it's weird because we're in Grand Rapids, Michigan, which is known for building furniture. I know Hickory is a big furniture building thing.
Oh yeah, not only that, but in a room next to us, there was karaoke where they had 2 mic stands.
Mm-hmm. 2 mic stands that are just sitting there, and we tried to get them, and they would not loan us the mic stands for the hour that we needed them.
Along with a pretty empty bar that had high top chairs nobody was sitting in.
Well, it's Grand Rapids. They could have had the Amish make us a chair. I mean, maybe not an Amish mic stand. I get that.
I almost took one of the brooms back there and found like a hair clip from somebody and made a mic stand. Do you remember that's the green room that we stayed in? There was the cool golf simulator game room area, which was fun.
Yeah, I'm going to try to send that picture. That was just great, because I kind of felt like we had carte blanche it was a simulator. And you could kick soccer balls, footballs, golf. And we just, Brent somehow like a savant, knew how to work the machine. Right?
Yeah.
Like
we were playing, and the guy, one of the guys who opened for us, a guy named Bruce and Brent were having a driving contest who could drive the ball the furthest. And I think the guy, Bruce, took a swing and re-injured his meniscus.
Well, there was a football that you had to kick and put it through the field goal. And I didn't. Everybody who tried to kick the ball, like split their hamstring, like easy. And then the soccer guy, then there was a guy who was like, I used to play juniors in junior league or junior Olympics. And I don't know if I would announce that before I was about to kick a soccer ball. I would have kept that myself. And then if I was awesome, then I would be like, well, I used to play. But before he even kicked it, we all just kind of shut up. You're like, this dude's going to suck.
He made the announcement and he went up there and he kicked it and then missed the goal. Like he didn't score. And that was hilarious. I'm trying to read some of these comments. I was showing my 75-year-old mom some Reep on YouTube. She loves his facial expression. Well, thank you, Hill Climber 876. Zach Shimrock, unless, of course, if they decide first and second, John's not enough. I can't. It just went away. A lot of comments happening at once. This is good. But we had fun. I want to thank everyone who came to the show.
Yeah.
John was very funny. I was very funny. Here we are at Rockford Bowling Lanes. And I really enjoyed, because I've known Brent now for how long, Brent?
6 years?
6, 7 years.
6 or 7, yeah.
And normally you open for me. So I don't get to see you flex your muscles as hard as I think you can. And one night you really flexed. And I was like, oh, I would love to see Brent on a headlining set, because you did really great.
Oh, thanks, man.
You did a good job.
No, I'm super appreciative of you guys, letting me tag along, dragging me all over Michigan.
Yeah.
And
we had one fun night. Me and Brent went to this place called Z's.
Mm-hmm.
That is next to the hotel.
Downtown Grand Rapids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we got some good pizza there, and they did karaoke there.
They did.
And so we went over there with the intention of just having a slice of pizza, maybe a drink, and then calling it a night. And then we were having some fun conversation. And then before you know it, we're on stage and we're singing Sledgehammer.
Sledgehammer, yeah.
Me and Brent both sang Sledgehammer. And there was it was just a weird mix of people, weird energy in that place, but it was fun. That pizza was great over there. We had sushi one day. We went to a sushi place was awesome.
I will say, like, when you've traveled around, and when I open for Reep, we do tend to find karaoke. It's kind of a fun thing to do on the road. Once you see it in Nashville, you're spoiled, man. That there was some rough.
Yeah,
there was some rough.
There was some like college douche dudes, I call them, who went up there because they looked good. The girls would scream at them, but they were just it was horrible. And then these other girls get up there and just think it's funny to scream the song the whole time and just laugh and giggle at stuff that's not funny and jump around.
And they were the ones that threw money at each other.
Yeah, they were throwing money at each other
and left it
up there.
Why didn't we pick it up?
I did pick it up and hand it to the guy who was running the microphone. Okay. I nicknamed him George. I never got his real name, and I just started picking up the ones and handing them to the guy running the karaoke. So, yeah. What's some of your highlights, John Heffron? What show did you like the best? I mean, that theater place.
Theater place was cool. I was impressed with the Howard City, Rockford, and Muskegon. How awesome the audiences were.
Yeah,
just literally, I can't get over. They were unpoliced. They were and just every show. Listen, Don, who brought us through there and put all this together, was super great. We had one like the stage that we performed on the last show. I mean, that thing was smaller than Brent. I don't know how you stood up there and didn't fall off.
Gosh.
With the brick.
Right. If I put my
wall,
feet, yeah.
If you put your heel on brick wall, your toes would go over the stage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So every show there was one thing where you were like, "This, could you just?"
It's so close to perfect.
Yeah, but the audience. So that's something I maybe wouldn't do the entire week, but that little thing I would do again in a heartbeat in 6 or 7 months. Go back up there.
Oh, yeah.
I think what we just did at all these at all these little venues, there's definitely room to do a lot more and make it even cooler. It wasn't a hell by any means. They weren't the hell gigs that I thought they were going to be when we first said we should do these, because we went in them thinking that these were going to be a little bit difficult, or it's going to be and not the people who showed up. Dumb stuff, mic stands, lights, nobody cares. And, there's a lot going on in the world.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. But the people, were awesome.
I couldn't agree more. I'm trying to think of, I'm trying to send Alan a text message. Alan, look for a text. I'm going to show one picture of the theater. The one that's, in Holland. It was an actual theater. That was the only one that didn't have a bowling alley attached. And that one was really cool. Our green room was the balcony because they didn't have a green room. And there's another, I'm going to show the picture I took of John staring at the off into the lake. I'm texting Alan 2 pictures. So I'm trying to think. My least favorite was the banquet one, the banquet looking room. My favorite was probably that last one we did. That was in Muskegon, which, John, you thought was going to be the worst one.
Well, I thought Muskegon was only because of because we see the numbers. All the other ones we knew how many people we wanted to sell tickets for, and I heard. And then it was the numbers throughout the week. It like doubled. So that place, whatever it had, 400 people in. Although I heard a great story about a comedian, and I don't know if I should, were you there when Don was telling the story about a comedian and what happened there? I guess I won't say his name. There was a comedian that got booked there, and he got booked there with a guarantee. So usually,
which venue are we talking about?
The last one, we're at Muskegon.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. And I'll obviously you guys know this, but I'll tell the people listening. So you either get booked as a comic, you either get a guarantee, which means you show up and you get paid X, no matter if there's one person or if there's 1,000 people. Then another way you get paid is a door deal. You get 20%. So you get 80% of the door and the club gets 20, but it's if you don't sell any tickets, then you don't make any money. So this particular comic goes to the Muskegon place and has a guarantee. So he knows he's getting paid, whether it's 0 people or 1 million. He knows he's getting paid. He said yes to that amount and flew out there. It's not a surprise. There were 90 people in the show, right? So there are 90 people in that room. So divide what we had by 3 and you'll have 90-ish people. Yeah. And he said to Don, who was trying to do this and bring comedy up all through that area, he said to him, I'm too big a star to perform in front of 90 people. I'm not going out. I'm not performing. Huh. And then Don said, yeah, you are. You have a contract and you're literally at the place. You're getting paid no matter what. There's, almost 100 people. You're going, and he said, no, I'm too famous to be seen only in front of 90 people, and left and didn't perform.
I never heard that story. He didn't tell me that.
He never performed. And then the guy sent him an email saying, hey, maybe next time I'm there, when I'm there again, you can bring more, you can get more of your friends to show up. That shit basically like we're such, I don't know. I know there's a blue collar. I'm not taking names from people, but maybe it's a different work ethic growing up in a Michigan or a blue collar town where you perform in front of, your I've done shows in front of, what's the least amount of people you've performed for?
Probably 3.
3. Yeah. I'm in the 3 to 4 range.
Yeah, right.
What about you, Brent?
Yeah. I mean,
dude, 90 is a good number.
90
on a Wednesday.
90. You're too big of a. You can't go in front of. Like, I don't get. Is it a power move? Because why would you fly all the way there? Because you saw where it is. It's not the easiest place to fly into. You're coming from Los Angeles, so that's a little bit of a flight, okay. And you don't just, get on stage and make up an excuse.
Do you know who he's talking about, Brent?
No, I didn't hear that story either.
Crap, I don't either.
But you're also talking about 90 paid tickets, like people that are excited to see you.
Yeah. S Rose 40 says it was Sebastian Maniscalco. But I don't know if that's true.
You think it was me? I'm not going up in front of 40 people. I'm the kind of person wouldn't perform it.
I'm not going up in front of 90 people.
I'm not going. People. I can name everything.
So it wasn't him.
I put it in the private chat, but I spelled everything wrong.
Oh, sweet. So you don't have to say it, but I can.
Oh, but real quick, it wasn't Sebastian. We should also say that.
It was not
Sebastian.
No, it was not Sebastian.
I'll drop a hint though, if you don't mind, John.
I don't care. I just like not saying it because it draws out the story.
Well, this guy was a guest one time on Country-ish.
Oh,
so there
show
you
up.
Go.
Did he get mad? Did he get mad when you didn't have him early on when people are just coming on live and there was only 33 people?
We weren't going live, so I didn't have to worry about the numbers. D. Allen Jackson, did you ever get the pictures I text to you? I'm looking at the private. Oh, okay. So that's the theater gig that we did. And they had, this is the night after we performed without a mic stand. Now they have 2 mic stands and 2 stools, and the theater was great. And then I was a little disappointed, John, that we didn't go up and do a Q&A together. I really kind of thought we should do that. I brought it up to you once or twice, and you didn't seem excited about it. So I'm curious as to what your thought process was on that.
Maybe we could have. I don't know. I'm always from the believer of, what if no one asked questions? But that's dumb because everybody was huge fans of yours. People at one of the shows, maybe even that one, was yelling stuff you did or lines from some of the movies that you did. Right. Not not even the Hemi stuff but a couple of those shows. Yeah, they went. I didn't think anyone knew who I was. My only street cred was he's from Michigan, and people from Michigan automatically clap for that. But we could have made it funny. We could have made it live. I don't know.
We should have done that just to have some content for this, for our sizzle reel that we were doing. But I want to show the other picture of the Alan Jackson. I sent you. There it is. There it is. John walks down to the edge of the water by himself and just stares at the water. Well, you were there for a long time.
Look, my shoulders are just hunched over. Like I'm literally thinking if I swim out past that pole and keep swimming, then they'll say it was an accident.
You'll hit Chicago.
Yeah.
Right?
I just swim out and I just start a new life in Chicago.
I wish you could see his footwear in that picture. But yeah.
This man had one decision to make. Or maybe I was staring at the kid that's right in front that looked like they were drowning, even though they had a blow-up thing around their neck.
It does look like a scene from Jaws. I mean, that beach kind of reminded me of the beach in Jaws, even though in Jaws it was, ocean. This is a lake, but it kind of looked, the sand was really fine and powdery. That felt great.
You know what I did learn? I won't have time to send it. So we were in the back, and I'm going to try to find it right now. I worked out yesterday and today just because of how I look when I would play boxing.
Oh yeah,
I've turned into an old man. My shoulders are hunched. I'm bald. I have kind of like those skinny old man arms where they're those guys where it just becomes atrophy. So in my gut and just my skinny legs, I had a body issue problem. So I worked out yesterday, worked out today, and I'm dropping 15 pounds. I'm getting back in shape. When we held up bowling balls, you did that thing like you held up like both wings,
like Michael Jordan,
with the balls, and I couldn't even do it. So I had to find like the super littlest one. But I said the video Alan.
You go ahead. Do you want to give the video first? I was going to give you a compliment.
No, give me the give me the.
Oh yeah.
When we were, where was it? Rockford.
That was Rockford. Yeah.
The green room that they gave us was in the basement, and the basement was a makeshift gym, I guess, that the owner made for him. Mm-hmm. So there was a punching bag hanging from the ceiling. There was workout equipment. Bowling balls were everywhere. It was dusty and kind of dirty and grungy. And John walks over. When you see a punching bag, any man is going to walk over and give it a couple of jabs. John Heffron goes over there, does some combo, like a legit, to where he's like going, like he's actually doing making the hissing noises that boxers do, and hitting the bag hard with like a combo. And I was like, oh snap. John's got some skills. You didn't look like an old man when you were doing that, John Heffron.
You look like you legit know how to box.
Well, that's good to know. So I boxed today, and I figure I got to put I'm going to get the shoulders to come back a little. I don't know how you get rid of man boobs. I might get that cryo whatever where they can just kind of freeze the fat cells out of your boobs. I might get some like tummy, stuff. I'm ready.
I think we just got to detox. You know what I mean? Like do a sober October, just drink water and just eat fruits and vegetables for 1 month. Let's do it, guys. Let's be one of those like the Joe Rogan gang where they all get together and do a sober October.
Y'all do they challenge each other and they make fun of each other and stuff. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I'm going to do it. I'm doing it with or without you. But
when are you doing it?
No drinking in October.
Mm-hmm.
Brent, you doing it?
Oh, I got you.
I could do it. I should probably do it.
Yeah. It's not like we're quitting.
Alan, did you get the video?
Wait. Almost hit the moonwalk on carpet. Hard to do.
That wasn't the. Did you get the boxing one? The one I sent after that? The carpet is awesome. I can't. Yeah, that bowling alley just put in that new carpeting. If you want to go to a really cool bowling alley, Whipping a Muskegon. I forgot what it was, but I've never seen so many lanes. That was like from a movie, or Bowling for $1 had to be shot there. There were like 50 lanes.
The other John, there was actually, I don't know if you talked about him before I got here. There was a third John who was kind of hanging out, helping. He said that they host the like World Bowling Championships there.
Yeah, I believe it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the lane. We have video of it, but we can't show it because it's super dark. Me and John, okay, I know we're throwing a lot at Alan. So Alan, you have the me boxing one, but earlier you showed a picture of just this cavernous bowling lanes, all brand new. There was nobody in it. It's the ones we were talking about. Me and John went. Brent, you weren't there. We went behind the bowl where the balls go and where the pins are.
Yeah,
and saw the machines that run that thing. Because you always think when you bowl, you just bowl it and they just kind of disappear. And Don, the guy who had us, said, this is the mean ghost haunted place. The first place we were at Howard City, he says, every time you turn machines on, you hear a woman talking to her kids. So, but they're friendly. So we went to this one, and in Muskegon, the Muskegon bowling alley, I guess back in the 50s was like a gun running drug. It was like Sammy, listen, you're gonna get one of these right in the face. And they had the Tommy guns, like it was that place. So when you went back there, that's where all the murders took place, if the mafia or whatever. And while we were walking, it looked like the movie Saw. It was super, super scary when we were back there. And then we went into some back room. Yeah, go ahead, John.
I was going to say it was just me, you, and the one guy. I forgot his damn name. But anyway, we had our phones. We were using the light from our phones behind this machine, right? He was telling all the stories about the murders that happened back there, the people that have died back there, what happens. And I started, like when you're watching ghost hunting stuff and they always talk about the temperature just changed. Like I literally felt a cold zone at one point where we were walking and it got really cold. I was like, I'm very skeptical. I was just like, that's weird. And then we kept going and we went to this one little room that had a cage. And when we got in the cage, my arm hairs just went whoosh. It stood straight up. I'm like, we got to get out of here. And then we started going back, and I thought I'd play a fun little joke on John Heffron. As we're walking back, I took the straw out of my drink, and I threw it up ahead, and it made a little bit of a noise. And John Heffron stopped and went like,
"Oh, you
remember that?
That was you."
Yeah.
Yes, because I said, it's probably mice. It's probably
yeah.
Oh,
it was me throwing a straw. I like to have fun.
You can't see. Hold on. You can't see John. It's John showing me his arms. Oh, they totally. Because he said when we closed the door, he heard, "Get out," or something like that.
I was trying to make you scared.
Hey,
that one
John,
was. Oh, what's his?
John Heffron.
Alan kicking in.
I didn't get the video from you of boxing. Did you try to send that?
Okay.
Just the boxing video.
Can.
I've got the one where you guys are doing the football and golf poses, but anyway,
I might have some of him boxing up in here somewhere.
Right here, I got it. Right here. This is one where I look like old man. Right here. Yeah.
No, but you're doing combos.
But I see my bald head.
And you're also like dodging, rocking.
And like you're not just punching, like you're putting your whole shoulder into it.
Yeah.
Just right there. Put them up. Put them up. See how skinny my arms are, though? Right there. I'm like that. So I'm riding. I'm riding. Those are nice power shots. So that would.
See, that's pretty good shots.
Those are rocky. That was a liver. That was a liver shot right there. Yeah.
Those are some pretty good shots. I got to be honest with you.
So where's our next place? Should we pick another? Should we pick a random city and try to do a weekend somewhere in the next couple months before it gets wintry? What should we do? People out there.
I'm digging the bowling alley thing, right? Like I thought that was cool. We just got to make sure in the contract that we get the things that we need. We just got to make sure lighting, sound, mic stands, all that stuff. That's got to be in there, right? So that's the only change I would have made. So if it's not a bowling alley, like what other state has its own thing that they like to do? That's, like I didn't know Michigan loved bowling that much.
Yeah,
like there was commercials. There were commercials for bowling. I've seen on television where it just said, "Hey, get out there and bowl." Like that's not for a bowling alley, just the sport in general.
We could probably do 3-week tour of bowling alleys. But if we did it next time, I'm going full on sponsors. By the way, we were promised new shoes, bowling balls and stuff, and we never got them. But
never was brought up ever.
Yeah, we would go huge sponsors. So like next time I would go to Quicken Loans, a big like a Michigan company, maybe even a booze company that would have us. We get a bus. We get a thing and just show up and do 3 weeks of those, like fall of next year.
Yeah,
we should plan because it's going to get winter and it's going to be freezing and it's just going to be super cold. I'm not driving. You think I drive crappy now? Wait till there's ice on.
That will also be an amendment.
You're gonna have your own ride. Yeah, travel. Yeah. I don't want to drive next time. I don't want to be the designated driver. But maybe Michigan bowling alley is the thing. You could be like an honorary Michigander, guys. You're in a bunch of cities. You kind of see how people are. You're kind of learning it,
Yeah, I'm happy with Michigan. I think they liked me.
I
was worried about the whole being the Southern boy coming up to Michigan, and they were all like, "No, dude, look at us. Look at what you're at."
You're in a bowling alley of 1,100 people.
Yeah.
Reep and I also found out that like they are. Like you have that stereotype of like Southern charm and everybody's very patient and nice all the time. We found people in Michigan were very nice, but they did not have the patience for us to just mess around with them.
Oh yeah, that's what
you know what I mean.
Like
really as nice as they could be, but as soon as you just kind of tried to make a joke to them or something, they were like, "Now I got stuff to do."
Yeah, move on. They Oh, let's talk about the hot tub and the sauna and the swimming pool. That was fun going down there in the sauna. Got really. I was happy that existed down there. John said you could build one in your house for pretty cheap, right?
A dry sauna.
Sauna.
100%. Yeah.
All right, guys, we're at an hour. I think we got to wrap this one up. Leave it in the comments section for everyone watching us now. What's the next tour? Is it bowling alleys? Is it a different sporting event we don't know about? Is it pickleball? Are we doing tennis courts?
Are we doing a run of arcades? What about a run of
I would say
glamour shop glamour shot places that no
Figure out
longer
a bunch.
exist. Hair salons. Want to do a run of hair salons
and put it to the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone, leave your opinion about where we should do it.
We should get in
wineries.
We should get in bowling alleys. This time we're going to get an IP, like a beer IP, to sponsor us, dude. So we got 3 different sections of the world we'll work on. Okay.
I dig it. I dig it. Thank you, Brent Blakeney, for
this weekend.
Yeah,
real quick, House of Comedy in Mall of America. If you live out there, I'm there.
Are you sure? I thought Michael Rappaport was going to be there.
He's there every other weekend. I'm there on the off day, so I'll be there this weekend. I'll miss you guys. I'll miss you, but we'll talk. And I'm gonna go take driving courses now.
All right, sounds good. Peace out, everybody.
You're tuned in to the #1 show on the planet, the Heffron and Reep Show.
Since you love the Heffron and Reep Show, please go to iTunes and let them know. Rank the show and leave a comment. We don't care what you write, you know. They, Heffron and Reep, have low self-esteem. So please validate them by ranking them and making them seen. So no matter what you do,